Once again, please allow me to apologise for the ugly splint on the finger of my right hand. I think I may be losing my marbles. I was sure I did a review of this watch, but after looking at my back catalogue, it appears I either didn't do one, removed it myself, or had it removed by YouTube because it was so awful. What's more, it must surely be the most reviewed watch in the world, so anything I can tell you, you probably know already. However, for my own pleasure, self-gratification and indulgence, here we go. There is a lot of history and confusion regarding this watch, but if you want a far better explanation of it, please have a look at Jodie's video at Just One More Watch. As far as I'm concerned, if it looks like a Seagull 1963 and has the correct movement, it's a Seagull 1963. My experience with this particular timepiece started about 3 years ago when I bought a 42mm version. At the time I preferred a larger watch. Sometime afterwards I decided a 40mm watch would look better on my 17cm wrist, only to realise a few months later a 38mm version would look even better. And welcome to my unpaid and unsponsored review of the Seagull 1963. So let's start off with the dimensions. Well, it's got a 38mm case, it's got an 18mm lug width, it's 13.5mm deep, 47mm lug to lug, and on this strap it weighs about 65 grams. That's the Seagull packaging. It's evident that they didn't spend the money on the box. Inside is the original green NATO strap and an undated 1-year warranty card. And for those of you interested, this is my watch of the day. It's the Bull Fireman Nightbreaker. It's a 40mm sports watch. It's got a Solita movement and tritium tubes. The watch has a 50-metre water resistance rating, which is of little consequence really, because I can't imagine anybody actually wanting to go swimming with it on. Now the crown is 5.5mm. It's signed with a star, is well knurled, and it operates the movement without issue. Needless to say, it's of the push-pull variety rather than screw down. Now inside is the Seagull ST19 chronograph hand wind movement. Based on a movement originally developed by Venus, it is one of the prettiest movements ever made, and it comes with or without a swan neck adjuster. This one doesn't have one, but I once tried regulating a watch using one and I couldn't access the screw. It is a 3Hz movement that ticks away at 21,600 beats per hour, and it doesn't hack. It is meant to have a 40-hour power reserve, but mine has never actually achieved that. It has, however, proved to be reasonably accurate. Now you press the top button once and it starts the chrono going, press it again and it stops it. Press the bottom button and it flies back into place. Now let's have a look to see how it performs on the time grapher. There we are, nice set of figures. It's running at +1 second a day, a very good amplitude and an excellent beat error. Unfortunately these movements don't have a very good positional variance. This is dial up. These are available with an acrylic or sapphire crystal. In actual fact, I'm not sure if I once saw one with mineral crystal. Mine is a domed sapphire, but I see no evidence of any AR coating. Now the case is made from 316L stainless steel and is fully polished. The lugs are relatively long, which in this case suits the aesthetics of the watch. However, they do taper down well, so it does actually fit well to the back of the wrist. Now the back is of the screw down variety, but you will need one of those rubber ball things to get the back off. Now this watch, as you can see, has got the exhibition back, but some of them actually have solid backs. In theory this dial shouldn't work, but it does, and it works beautifully. A beige Fotina dial with gold indices, a red chrono hand and a blue minute and hour hand. All sounds bizarre, but look at it, it's beautiful. The sub-dial to the left is a ticking second hand, whilst the one to the right is the minute counter for the chronograph. The hands are simple sticks, but suit the watch well. Now let's have a look at the loom. Well, that's it. It hasn't got one. My last version of this watch, a 40mm, did have loom pips, but they didn't work very well, and to be honest with you, they just looked out of place anyway. They either come with a rather nasty leather strap, a cheap green NATO, or sometimes both. Mine came with a NATO, but as the case is a little bit chunky, the strap made it sit too high. I decided to put this rather nice dark blue pearl-on strap on it, which I believe matches the blue hands and goes well with the overall aesthetics. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now let's talk about price and value for money. Now the one you see in front of you cost me £140 and that was brand new. I've seen them for all sorts of prices, but there is little reason anyone really needs to spend any more, well in my opinion. A sapphire crystal, a nice case and a very complex movement for this sort of money represents incredible value, and I'll hear nothing else. There were no QC issues when this watch arrived, nor were there any when I bought my first two. As far as dislikes, well I don't really have any, although there are a few things I would change. Perhaps a bit of brushing on the tops of the lugs may be nice, and a slightly shorter lug to lug wouldn't go amiss. That said, it wouldn't really be a Seagull 1963 then, would it? This watch is so pretty, it almost makes me cry. I'm not normally a lover of chronograph watches, but this one's different. I love the colour combination on the dial, and if you buy the right size for your wrist, this watch looks absolutely stunning. So in summary, there are a few watches all collectors should consider having in their collection. In my opinion, this one should sit at the top of the list. It's an iconic and inexpensive timepiece that any so-called watch lover should own. So if you don't own one, go and buy one today, and that's an order. Now that brings me to the end of this review. So if you've enjoyed it, please click on the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave your comments below, and enjoy the rest of your day.